Previously on Cormyr.
Wouldn't it be better if you allowed her to remain in our custody while you return to the tavern?
These orders came from the king, sir! Hiram, you have the urge to take this sickle and run it through Slate's gut. You see a silhouette. Its fur is jet black. It ducks out of sight and disappears. The six of you begins trundling down the Starwater Road towards Fort Lymera.
In realms long forgotten, there are tales of the Forest Kingdom, a place of honour and chivalry, known to some as the Land of the Purple Dragon, but known to all as Cormyr.
Hi, I'm Tilda, and I'm playing Hiram, a half-orc paladin.
Hi, my name's Carl. I'm playing Cassie Donahue, human bard.
Hi, I'm Julia, and I'm playing Badger, a forest gnome monk.
Hi, my name is Anton, and I play Balthazar, a Warforged Cloak of Azuth.
Hi, my name is Elle, and I'm playing Slate, a changeling druid.
Hi, I'm Matt, and I'm playing Zombo, who is a halfling rogue/warlock.
And my name is Dan. I shall be the dungeon master on this adventure.
Welcome back, everyone. Hello.
Hello.
So, we rejoin the Warhounds, now complete with carts of supplies on their way out of the forest village of Deadluke towards the Raedran's stronghold in Fort Lymera, which is roughly to the south. The east, southeast kind of direction. As Deadluke shrinks behind you as you get further and further away, I suspect that the Warhounds are still on the lookout for any roving purple dragons, which may be in their local vicinity. As you managed to avoid you managed to defuse an awkward situation by enchanting Caven Tor to head to the tavern and kind of rethink his choices. How are you planning on getting to Fort Lymera? Are you sticking? So now you have the cart. The roads are a preferable method of travel. The Starwater Road that you're on, if you follow it for 15 miles, Slate, you know that would then bring you to the junction of the Stagsteads to the south. So the Stagsteads lying about a mile off the road. You can carry on east towards Mouth of Gargoyles. You can head north at the junction to begin heading up towards the village of Knightswood. Fort Lymera lies between the north and east paths. So you could take a direct route, kind of go cross country all the way, or you could follow the road along to a certain point and then kick out to Fort Lymera. Choice is yours.
Follow the road.
As
Keep it simple.
as we're riding, I think I would whinny and kind of steer away from the road and have to be encouraged back every time if that was the main consensus.
So where does so let's start from the top. Balthazar, what way do you think you should go? Like, how far do you stick along the road and so forth?
Balthazar just follows, but Anton thinks we should take the road and just veer off towards the end towards Fort Lymera. Keep it simple.
Yeah.
There should be no one on this road looking for us.
Okay. Badger?
Yeah, Badger's probably pro cross-country route.
Okay.
Just to kind of, because we don't know that. Stagstead's is a HQ for the loyalists, so there could be people on this road who know us.
Catcher.
Taking with the road to a point and then flipping off across country.
Where would said point be?
I mean, the crossroads before like Stagstead, like
Yeah.
maybe then heading up towards Knightswood and then turning off there, because if
Yeah.
anything, they're going to be expecting us to be going down like towards Mouth of Gargoyles and down to Immersea. So if we turn off towards Knightswood, it'll be the sort of unexpected route to take.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Hiram?
Hiram is still trying to get over the whole sickle thing and has no opinion.
Understandable. Zumbo.
I think Zumbo would agree that the cart needs to stay on the road as long as it can. So probably, like Katya suggested, stick on it and then turn off towards Knightwood. And he's also thinking that Betty can turn Helenus and Axcass invisible.
Interesting. Very
Nice.
So we could potentially go past Stagstead without worrying about them being spotted.
good.
Stuff.
I can only imagine Helenus and Axcass are not expecting that.
No, he's not going to warn them either.
Okay, so this leg of the journey, if you're staying on the roads, pretty much, it's 30 miles of road, of path, I should say, through the forest, and then the final 3 miles from the road to Kingswood down into Fort Lymera. Perfect. The cart itself travels somewhere because of the wonky wheel. It's about kind of walking pace, so it's gonna take. So what are we? So it's 11 o'clock, pretty much. Let's say it's 11:30 by the time you guys get out of Dead Luke. It's gonna be about 8 hours trundling along, because there's only one horse, there's only one slate pulling the cart, with all 7 of you. The other 7 of you sat on said cart.
I'm sure some of us are walking. Buffers will be walking.
Okay, fair enough.
He weighs
I bloody well hope so.
probably quite heavy.
So yeah, you've got a fair amount of time to kill. So with that in mind, who wants to go first? What's Catcher doing?
Imagine she's sitting on the cart, playing an idle tune, maybe sort of like trying to compose something of what happened in the burrows, but can't quite think of the song that sounds right for "We were all goddamn terrified and chased by a dragon."
Okay, fair enough. Okay, so whilst you're plinking away on your loot, Badger, what are you doing?
Badger's gonna sort of slide up to Katya, like just almost silently, and go, "That was amazing."
No, I don't think those last few words really went together, but as long as you think so.
No. The way you talk to people is inspiring, Katya. I mean, I've always got on well with people, but I've never made them do things the way you do. Could you teach me?
I suppose I could. I mean, I sort of learnt through, I learnt through watching Ursula do it and doing it to me and the others. It just her sheer force of personality. You just never really wanted to say no to her. It's almost like you couldn't say no to her. But
Ooh.
I sat, I watched, and listened, and was told to do things. But eventually, on the night I escaped, I tried to emulate her as best I could, and for some reason one of the guards listened, and since then I just tried to channel my best my best Ursula impression, and seems to work. But it's about how you say it and the delivery of it. So
Yes.
you know, you've just got to be not forceful, but just make it seem like it's the best idea of all. Just
It's the best idea of all. That's what
exactly.
you say.
Well, not you didn't say it exactly, but you kind of think that, like you think that what you have to say is irrefutably the best idea of all, and you have to put it in such a way that it makes it. Yeah, it makes sense that how could you say no? Like with Helenas, I mean, how could he say no? Like leaving her in our care, and we're the Warhounds.
Yeah, as you say that, like as you finish your sentence, like you notice almost they look like these little motes of light that are just kind of drift. They're like fireflies, like motes of light, a bit like fireflies at night, but it's like midday, and they're this kind of like silvery white light, just kind of dance around each other. It just catches your attention as you finish.
Catcher reaches for one,
and as you kind of go to grab for them, they almost seem to sort of like blow away from your fingers, and then you watch as they begin to grow. And Badger, you look at it, and as you look down at your arm, you realise that your tattoo isn't lit up. And Katya, you watch as this tall, gaunt figure, long, slender, pointed ears, a long top knot cascading down his back, wearing
patting Badger.
Robes similar to Badger's, yet still seemingly kind of distinctly alien compared to Badger's. And you hear the figure looks at you, Katya, and says,
"That sounds like a terrible idea."
Oh?
These powers, the arts which you wield are not to be tampered with lightly. I find your lack of discipline, frankly, unnerving.
She's fantastic with her flames. What the hell are you talking about? I mean, there's no one more disciplined with her fiery punches. What do you...
I think he's talking to me, Katya.
everyone on the cart, you, including you, Slate, as with your horsey head, you're looking behind you. This spectral, silvery figure of... It's the figure that you've come to associate with Badger every time. You've seen him once in Mouth of Gargoyles, when he terrified that poor villager. But this figure is just has materialized in front of Catcher and Badger, and is almost kind of levitating backwards to keep up perfectly with the speed of the traveling cart. And Azarad... Sorry, go on, Julia.
Azarad, would you like to explain why you're being so rude to my friend Katya?
Because your friend Katya is akin to a wildfire waiting to ignite.
Now, that was a long time ago, and we've sorted that out now. There's not doing the fire thing anymore.
I don't want to disappoint Magnus.
Azarad scowls.
This Ursula you speak of, she was your mentor?
I wouldn't exactly call her that, more my captor, but yes, she taught most of the troop their talents.
She is proficient in the arts as well.
The arts?
And Azarad so Azrad's kind of eyes, they glow yellow in this kind of bluey, silvery silhouette. But you notice the eyes open, and Azra kind of looks around. Who else is paying attention, like rapt attention to this conversation? Balthazar's facing the other way, kicking his legs off the back of the cart.
Looking behind, making sure he's not being followed by a wolf creature.
Hiram? Zombo?
No, Zombo's nervously scanning the horizon ahead of them for purple dragons.
Okay, fair enough. So in which case, Hellenis and Axcass are kind of in a world of their own. Axcass is reading her spell book. Hellenis just seems unusually quiet. Between the two of you, Badger and Katya, you notice that the only person, the other person who is noticing the conversation is Emily, who's just sat kind of wedged in between everyone else because it's space is a bit of a premium on this cart. And she's just got this flat eyebrow look, like almost like a look of not being impressed, almost utter despondence to everything that's happening. And Azarad chimes in.
On this plane, there are many who are proficient in the arts of the divine, of the arcane. But the more advanced races have unlocked the powers of the mind.
And he looks you up and down, and
I'm surprised you are as proficient in it as you have appeared to be.
I'm not proficient in anything. And she kind of looks around and is like, sure, I'm hearing voices every now and again, but I'm not proficient in anything. And, neither was Ursula. Ursula's just a bitch. She is a wizard.
He tilts his head and...
Your mentor was a dog?
Yes, that's definitely one way of describing her.
No, not a dog.
Incredible.
Azarad, no.
Not an actual dog, though.
No. He doesn't do well with sarcasm and metaphor. Just keep it literal.
I see. Okay, sorry. No, she wasn't a dog, Azarad. She was a...
He was a...
Just a very nasty person.
A canine-shaped humanoid.
No, just a very nasty person.
I see. I suspect if I too were a canine-shaped humanoid, I would feel quite disagreeable to others.
I
wish to meet this Ursula.
No.
Oh.
No, we won't be going near Cizael anytime soon. Like, hopefully the king will sort out her empire and the troop, dismantle them.
Can we say we burned that bathhouse?
Azarad frowns.
But you speak of these powers that this Ursula has, that you have. You say that she taught others.
It's just headology. It's just saying the right thing at the right time, and it's not magic. It's not anything. It's just tricks. It's always just been tricks. Say the right thing at the right time, you play the right note, or you sing the right song, and people listen, people enthrall, people look your way, or people do as you say. As she used to do it. She used to tell us to do things, and we do them, like clean the floor, and we'd obey. It's just the way she was. She was just this presence. And I escaped because, I convinced him, and he saw the reason in it, until he changed his mind later. But no, you're wrong. You're wrong. There's not magic. I don't have skills.
Azrad's giving you this kind of like this teacherly look as you're saying that. It turns into a frown when you accuse him of being wrong. And he focuses on you, closes his eyes, opens them slowly.
It was you. You were the light I reached out for. It was you that I used as my anchor. It was you that brought me here.
And he...
You came for Badger. You found Badger. You're on Badger's arm. No.
Nyx here is my host. She keeps me safe, but your psionic energy radiates through the astral sea like a beacon. It was you that I reached for, and if I were to find you so easily, so can others.
And he turns to you, Badger.
You know of whom I speak.
The hunter. Who are they? And who are those people on the dragon?
Azarad, you see him clench his teeth, and like his image, his silhouette starts shaking. As like his anger, and as his anger starts to rise, Badger, you feel you feel bile kind of rising in your stomach. And Katya, you start to feel frustrated, angry. And Azarad slowly hisses the word
Githyanki. They are lost, wayward children of the astral seas. Once they were slaves, much like you, Katya. And when they sought to overthrow their oppressors, they did not turn to a calm and pleasant life. They became the very villains that they sought to overthrow. The Githyanki became a scourge on the realms, and we Githzerai did all we could to stop them from wreaking havoc and chaos across the multiverse. They are lost.
And what do they want?
He thinks about it, and
there are stories that the Githyanki are spread across this world. They use this world as a...
And he struggles to think of the word.
They use this world like a creche. They raise their young here. They bond with the dragons of Red, the servants of Tiamat herself. And then they return to the astral seas to pillage the stars. I had hoped that those Githyanki that we encountered earlier today were creche-minders. But...
And he looks at you again, Katya.
Perhaps they are not of this place. Perhaps they were drawn here too, like moths to a flame.
No, you are clearly wise, but You're wrong. It's just tricks. It's just tricks. That's all it is. It's nothing more.
Katya, and Badger puts her hand out onto your knee. If she sort of places her hand close to the knee and sort of waits to see if you'll accept it.
Yeah.
Okay. Katya, what kind of trick convinces a high-ranking purple dragon to defy an order from the king?
I can't accept this, because if it means Ursula has this power, I mean, no one can stand against her. She'd be able to talk her way out of anything. And I helped overthrow Raedra because I hoped he'd change things. But if this thing is true, then that means she has a power to just make anyone walk away. I know. I can't accept this. I can't explain the things that are happening. I can't explain the voices I hear. But no. I can't believe that's a power that someone possesses.
Zarad frowns and says,
It is very much a power that is possessed by many. The Githzerai, the Githyanki, the Illithid. And if your captor...
He corrects himself.
If your captor possesses this power and uses it to enforce her own will, then you are correct. She is a bitch.
We can agree on that.
Azrad looks back to you, Badger.
This is potentially happening faster than I had anticipated. At one point I had assumed that the hunter was after me, but perhaps the hunter is drawn to a brighter mote of light in an endless sea. It would be wise to prepare your defenses as quickly as you can. The hunter will stop at nothing to reclaim what is hers.
Oh dear.
Out of character, maybe we should let the hunter and the beast that needs to be called fight it out.
Good
I
point.
agree.
And Azrad turns back to you, Katja, and he tilts his head, and there's this kind of decided sense of like dispassion, like it's very, very matter-of-factly.
I would suggest learning to harness your powers sooner rather than later. It would not suit you well to be consumed by it. All you need is one stray spark to start the wildfire.
I don't intend to set any more fires.
And Azrad's silhouette starts to fade. But as he goes, he says,
You may not have a choice.
and the Githzerai vanishes, and you watch as a silver tattoo crawls back up Badger's arm.
Badger?
Mm-hmm.
I could really use a hug, but can you hug me with one arm and keep your tattooed arm away?
Yes, of course. And Badger just hugs you with the one arm. And pats you on the shoulder. There.
Thanks.
It'll be okay.
Yeah, I'm sure.
We'll
And she-
figure something out.
Yeah. I'm sure we will. I'm sure it's fine. I mean, I'm sure he's mistaken, right?
He's mistaken, or you learn a pretty cool power. So either
Gotcha.
way.
Badger, in your head you hear,
I am not mistaken.
And Badger replies psychically, I know. You're never wrong.
And I think Katya at that point sort of she stops playing for like the rest of the journey and is pretty much there, sort of trying to shrink herself, much in the same way as Rowan did, but without the reduced age. She is not a shape changer, but she looks small for a change as she's just digs herself down into the cart.
This is the most fun cart we're all like...
You're all being traumatized one way or another.
Yeah.
spare me 2 seconds. Cool. Okay. Perfect. So, last but not least, then, I think everyone's had a go so far. Balthazar.
I think Balthazar would have spent most of the cart ride, I guess, checking up on Emily, but mostly like playing games with her, I guess. Like throwing a rock and then she gets a stick and knocks it, and I don't know, just like idle thing and go, oh, that was a good one.
Like, so.
Yeah. Trying to keep his mind off things.
She seems very, very good at it. It's a bit annoying when she corrected you about how the game is played, because she was saying that no, to score a point, she has to hit the rock off your head.
Okay. Are you sure? You sure it's like that? All right.
Yes.
And Balthazar will play along.
Okay.
And kind of make sure she's okay, because she went through something a bit traumatic, so he's kind of taking care of her. And
so,
yeah.
Well, so as you're kind of trundling along in the cart, so yeah, there's just the occasional boom as another rock ricochets off your helmet. I got another point, she says.
Okay. How do I get points?
She shakes her head slowly. It's a team game. I get the points for both of us.
All right.
Throw
More
another
game playing.
rock.
Sure. Throws it. Oh. Yeah. There's a lot of that. But one thing. Go ahead.
Yes, go.
No, one thing Balthazar will notice will be Axikas reading a book.
Okay.
And he'll stop playing with Emily for a while and go, Axikas.
So yeah, as you turn to Axikas, like Helenus is it's her turn to walk alongside the cart. Axikas is kind of. Are you walking alongside the cart? Right? Yeah. Okay, so given your height, like Axikas is just is sat in the back of the cart, one leg out straight, like her injured ankle leg, and you're basically at eye level, right?
Sure.
So yeah, as you say her name, she's reading this book, and then she kind of closes it slightly and turns to you. Yes.
Is that your spell book?
She looks down at it. She looks at you for a moment, and there's just almost a kind of like curious, mischievous smile on her face, and she, yes, it is.
You a wizard?
Yes, I am, she says. Do you have a book, little man?
I'm not really little. I was wondering, like, how do you know you can do magic?
She thinks about it for a second, and my dear, next autumn will be my 65th year. I have spent some considerable time researching and learning the mystic arts. Spellcasting does not come easily to most. It is fortunate then that, from what I understand, your kind were built to channel magic quite naturally and innately.
Well, and he'll raise his staff and cast light. Well, this is my second day of making magic. So, I'm not really sure how it works.
He looks a little bit like she gives you an unsure look. But you are the product of Implacable, yes?
The project?
Yes.
Kinda. The stuff isn't really part of the project. It's belonged to somebody else.
You see, one particular wizard I had the courtesy of drinking with once upon a time joked about how Implacable was akin to, and I believe his words were, doomsday device. She smiles at you. But I'm sure that you start small with the light.
I'm not sure what you mean. But if you're a wizard, right?
Yes.
What am I? Am I a sorcerer? Or am I something else?
She thinks about it for a moment, and do you have a book?
No.
When you have done things, to make your little stick light up, who are you reaching to? Are you reaching inside? Are you reaching out to something else? Are you happy to reach out to that someone else? Or do you feel like you're obliged to?
I guess I kind of think about the stick and maybe somebody else. Like this something, someone out there. Yeah. Somebody else gives it to me. I don't think it comes from the inside.
She thinks about it for a moment. That is interesting. I was not expecting that. I was expecting some complex change of alchemical and arcane reactions to generate the required mana acquisition to release a spell. But she looks at you. It sounds like you're praying.
I'm praying? Like I pray, I want things to happen and they happen? Or I guess I gotta think about it.
She smiles, and I think you do. I think you do have to think about it. It might be worth waggling your little stick around a little bit more, just to see what it can do. Remember, it is not. Okay.
Oh, I don't have a little stick. I got a staff though.
She kind of raises her eyebrows at you. Indeed, you do. Indeed, you do.
And
like over your shoulder, Hellenus is just alongside the cart, just like shaking her head with a "stop it" face.
Yeah, and Balthazar probably gets another rock hit on his. It hits him in the head. Emily wants to play again.
You didn't throw it, so I threw it for myself.
Does that still count as a point?
Counts as 2. This is much more efficient at collecting points, says a little half-orc girl.
And Balthazar will happily get rocks thrown at him throughout the throughout the rest of the trip.
Aw.
Okay. Before well, like there's a short pause just before that happens. And Axakas turns to you and what? Why are you here? What are you for?
So you're just asking Balthazar, right?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's quite a big philosophical question, I guess. What are we all here for? You know,
Well,
I guess do some good.
she interjects and says, Project Implacable was designed to stop wars before they start, or end wars as quickly as possible. But you're not doing that. So why are you here? What are you for?
I guess you could call me a bit of a runaway.
So the Kingdom of Cormyr has a runaway doomsday device.
I'm not sure about that word. I'm not quite. I don't think I'm that. I'm something else.
I'm sure you'll grow to like those words, she says, with a mischievous smile. Yeah, she looked like she studies you for a moment and then watch out. And another stone ricochets off your helmet.
Yeah, that's the bit.
Cool. In which case, yeah, Emily gets bored of her game after about 45 minutes. Like, keeps her attention a surprisingly long time. And as you pass the Stagsteads, Zumbo, you just attack Betty, attach Betty to Helenus and Axicas, and they say, "What are you doing?" And then they just vanish.
Yeah, I'll just hiss at them to shut up and keep quiet for an hour and try not to move.
Okay.
So
as you're trundling along, so it's been about 4-ish hours. So yeah, it's kind of afternoon by the time you get to the Stagsteads. You peel away. As you're in the proximity of the Stagsteads, you notice a number of purple dragons. They're almost like kind of road guards. They kind of watch you pass, and seeing that there's no trouble. Balthazar, you catch a couple of looks because you're just this lumbering frame, kind of walking alongside the cart. But much to your relief, nothing seems to come of passing by the Stagsteads. You head north up the road towards Knightswood, and then approximately 10 miles along that road, Slate suddenly pulls a hard right and begins heading south down towards Fort Lymera. As you the path you find yourself on slopes up towards the fort, and before long, the trees once again start to thin. You see the stone walls of the fort kind of rising up, like cresting over the hill as you approach. And as you get there, you see a couple of purple knights, purple dragons stood on the ramparts. They're wearing standard tabards, similar to what they were wearing last time you were here. And seeing you approach, they open the gates! Open the gates! They shout. And before long, one of them disappears down, and the gates are kind of slowly pulled open. This poor purple dragon, you hear him huffing and puffing because the disrepair of this door means that it's dragging heavily in the dirt, so he almost has to lift the whole thing up and just to bring it out. But eventually the gate opens. Ahead of you is a small courtyard. You see some makeshift practice dummies, like attack dummies, scattered about, and we're talking like scarecrows with buckets on their heads. You see, off to the right, there are a couple of archery stands. On the other side of the courtyard, you can see a doorway, like an archway into the main area of the fort, and you notice that there seems to be a lot of commotion.
Can I ask?
Yes.
There's a lot of commotion, so there'd be no attention on getting the cart in. Is that right?
Yeah, so the cart comes in, like you're just kind of directed in. It's primarily the purple dragon that is kind of helping you in. The one up on the ramparts is still kind of looking out, and after you all enter, you hear a sigh, like a deep breath from the purple dragon in the courtyard with you as he lifts up the fort door and starts like swinging it closed again. Kind of closing it off behind you.
I'd say the minute that Slate can no longer be a horse that's carrying a cart.
Yeah.
So if there are any people who are willing to then take a cart, as in anyone in the fort, Slate would immediately turn back into Slate or back into Rowan or anything that's not basically the horse carrying the cart, so that anyone else can do that job.
Okay, sure. So, I mean, the archway directly in front of you into the main courtyard is too small for the cart. You would have to kind of go round through the various segments of the fort to, you'd have to basically go around the other way, anti-clockwise. Are you basically just wild shaping back into Slate form ASAP? Maybe even
the minute there's a single chance, not as soon as there's people who could carry it for them.
Yeah.
As in not our crew, but other people who are like, oh, well, let's help. That immediately be like, yep, cool, you can help, and then just leave.
Sure.
Basically.
So there's, as you start to see people kind of begin to untie you from the front of the cart, you transform. There's a moment where one of the ropes still hasn't actually come off, so for a moment, Slate is just kind of hanging across one of the ropes that was keeping them bound in as a pack horse, but you managed to kind of slide off that, I mean, so the cart is just kind of left here, almost kind of in the archway, and the purple dragon just kind of says to you, "It's fine there." But yeah, I say through the personnel archway, big commotion in the kind of large courtyard where all the tents are and the like. What do you do?
Somebody would probably go investigate, I think.
Yeah, immediately start following everyone else.
Okay, so as you walk through, the kind of the low hanging arch, the excitement, I guess, like the energy, almost kind of stands at odds with the visuals of this kind of relatively decrepit keep. Like there's smells coming out of the central tower to your right of food that smells like it's burning, presumably just kind of overcooked a bit too long. You can see groups of purple dragons kind of stood around. So it's not excitement. They're stood around kind of talking to each other a bit nervously, a bit kind of guarded. And like seeing you enter into the courtyard, you notice that these guards seem to be parting to allow you to pass, but they're kind of giving you slightly awkward, worried looks. You also notice that none of them are wearing red striped tabards.
I just say at this point that invisibility is still... I've not dropped concentration on that.
Sure, no, that's fair enough. In which case they're invisible behind you. Yeah, you can see, so even though the dragons are kind of getting out your way, you can see that they're all looking at the large kind of general commander's tower, if you will. Elle, did you have a question? Sorry.
I was just going to say, like, is there any kind of evidence of kind of a struggle, fight, anything that's happened here? Is there scuffles that were not what we saw beforehand, but a new?
You see no signs of struggle. No. You just see a lot of concerned purple dragons.
Run up to where we're all looking, I guess.
Okay. So as you... What are you guys... Where are you headed?
Running to the tower.
To the tower.
Actually, should we ask for permission to go to the tower first?
Nah, we're celebrities.
So as you head towards the tower, because there's it's a small flight of stairs up into the tower proper. You notice a tail sword kind of come out, and he sort of like looks to you all and this will be interesting, he says, and like under his breath he leans into. Are you all there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he kind of leans down to you a little bit and be on your guard. Be careful what you say. And he just kind of heads off to join the other soldiers. And as you kind of get closer to the tower and you start to climb the staircase up to the tower entrance, you see around the table a fish, woman of the woods, flanking her. And they've all got their backs to you. They're all stood around the table, and it sounds like an argument inside. And as you enter into the tower and you're kind of looking out, you hear a voice call from one of the stairwells, from the stairwell to the ramparts on the left. Why is it that I knew you'd be here if there was trouble brewing? At the top of the stairwell is Magnus Cobbleson.
Magnus!
Hey!
And as Magnus calls out and says that, Agatha sort of like looks over her shoulder and moves her body enough that on the other side of the table is Raedra Oberskier. One hand
Holy shit.
on the map of the Kingswood that is covered in a number of various wooden tokens. And the previous Queen of Cormyr looks up at the Warhounds and says, "Oh, it's you." And we'll call it there.
Ah!
Okay. You know what? Piracy sounds about good right now. Just good to see.
Magnus is looking good, man. He's been,
Look at that Tash.
He's been
He's been
working
looking
out.
after himself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where is he? I can't see him.
Where is it? Yeah, I think
He's
it's
right
be
up
more in the
here.
room.
Come in.
If you move into the room,
Let's get into the room.
What is on the table?
There's
Raedra.
Rachel.
Hey, he does look good.
And
He's really got that Tash working for him now. Like
He's had a glow up, you know.
Yeah, apparently
Oh,
the belly
hello.
is good for the skin.
Hi. So he always had the
Oh.
cowl on before. We never got to see
Yeah.
the dashing hairstyle.
and in this
What's it
moment,
called?
you realise that the way in that Magnus is stood, you can't see his right arm.
No!
Dun dun dun.
Oh dear.
What?
But I mean, I'd hope that if he's using
God, how
if
long
he's
ago was
using
it? we
a
found
shield
out?
and a sword. I hope to God.
Didn't do anything about it, did we? We didn't even try to warn him. Oops.
I talked about it.
Yeah, we talked about it.
No. We asked the gnomes to send message to him.
Did they though?
Well, probably not, but at least it tried. Fortunately, without Magnus, we have no one who can send messages.
The gnomes probably sent their messages to magnets.
Absolutely.
Hello, magnets.
Congratulations, everyone, on completing session 7.
Way.
So, yeah, I wonder what happens now, eh?
I mean,
At least you finished all the. At least you finished all those side quests.
Yeah.
It's a bit awkward,
Yeah.
isn't it? Coming face to face with Rager unexpectedly. It's like Soz Babe. We thought we were doing the right thing.
I'm not sorry.
Badger's a bit sorry.
I'm kind of like more like as a person, like still here. Don't know if you're aware. Kind of got abdicated.
I got usurped there, Rager.
Just
Maybe that's a
Rager,
sign.
come on. Yeah.
Get over it.
It is like seeing an awkward X, you're like, this would be there.
Right, so we will find out how this welcome reunion goes down next week. Thank you all for joining me, and I will see you all next week.
See ya.
Thanks, Dan.
See you then.
Yeah.
See you
Bye.
later.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
That brings us to the end of another session, and potentially a large shift in what's at stake here in the King's Forest. Why is the former Queen, Raedra Oberskir, here? Is there any bad blood between Magnus and his former guildmates? What does the revelation around Katya's powers mean for the party? Thank you for watching through to the end of the video. If you liked what you saw, give the video a thumbs up and leave a comment down below. You can find links to some of our other social media accounts in the description, and if you're hankering for some more Warhounds goodness, there's another video to watch right here. Whether you're Loyalist or Raedran, consider hitting the subscribe button here. We release new videos throughout the week. Until next time, stay safe, and may the realms endure.